from your signature vocal projection.
Yep, that's me.
Talking to Vishal Dadlani about a song that we were working on together right before he hit the studio to record vocals for it. Hi, I'm Chaitanya, a music composer and producer, and today I'm going to show you how we went from this
मजदूर सही मजबूर नहीं घर से दूर कोई बात नहीं
to
मजदूर सही मजबूर नहीं घर से दूर कोई बात नहीं.
a little bit about the song before we get into it. In mid-April, I was approached to make a song for Labor Day, which is the 1st of May. And this video that you're seeing is going to be about my approach towards making that song and behind the scenes of the entire project. So if you must check out that song first for you to make sense of what I'm about to say, I link the song somewhere here. First things first. Even before I started composing for the song, I knew I was going to use certain sounds from the construction site. Sounds like a hammer hitting the metal, the sounds of a jackhammer, and I wanted to incorporate that into my beat. Secondly, we knew we wanted to make the song sound a bit powerful and a little anthemic. And this information helped me to lock the key. I decided to be in the minor key for most part of the song because I wanted to play in the minor pentatonic and, go off scale a bit here and there. But more or less, I thought a minor key and pentatonic would do justice to this vision that we had. And the last piece of information which helped me just think about or structure the song was the length. I was told the song was going to be about 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. So that gave me an idea that I will have a hook section of the song. I can afford to have a bit of an intro. I can afford to have a little bit of an interlude, musical interlude. And then I can repeat the hook or the chorus section again later. All of this information really helped me to just mentally structure that song even before I got into the project. I will show you the project now. Let's get into it. So this is my project. I was working in Cubase. There are about 127 stems in this project currently. And let me go through the stems quickly. Basses are in blue. The entire rhythm section is in brown. The construction sounds that I was talking about is in dark brown. There are FXs, there's melodic instruments, there are pads and strings, there's brass, there's Vishal Dadlani's vocals, which I got after he recorded the final vocals. I have recorded the draft vocals which I sent to Vishal first, and those are here in yellow. So I will make you listen to my vocals first and then you can hear Vishal's vocals to see how the song progressed. The first thing that I started doing when I opened the project was just started placing these construction sounds randomly on a 4x4 grid. So let me just play what I came up with initially. You can see there are sounds from a blade, there's a hammer sound, there's a machine sound, there's a jackhammer drilling sound, and all of this placed on a beat has a bit of rhythm in itself. And once I did this, I knew I needed something underlying this, some sort of loop to join it all together. And that's when I looked for a loop in Splice which sounds a bit like it's come from a construction site. And this is what I found. I loved this sound because it was there throughout that 2-bar sequence, and when I play that along with my construction sounds, this is what it sounded like. It automatically gives such a nice groove and bounce to it. Once I did that, I knew I did not want to overcomplicate the kick and snare pattern. I wanted to get the bounce of the song from these sounds itself. So the kick and snare throughout the song was going to be more or less very simple. This is what it sounds like. You can see it's already built up a lot in the rhythm section with just these basic things, the construction sounds, that splice loop, and a 4x4 kick pattern. And then I added just another loop for added coolness. It's got a wonderful tabla hit in the loop itself. This one. I personally love that sound. It just pops out of the groove. Anyway, so once I had this ready, I knew that the backbone of the song was almost there. Everything that I needed to build was to be added on top of it or to be removed from it, and that's what I did. Once this intro loop gets over, I start adding few more elements, the bass sound to it, and then I start introducing the key of the song. I think the key of the song is in B flat, and this is what I made the entire loop sound like after the intro. So there's a very tiny bass line that's played on an easy bass plugin. It's just doing bum 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 bum. This plays underneath the groove that we discussed. And to show more about the scale, we've got some instruments playing the root, if I may say. This is that got us going into the vocal introduction of the song. Because we had the backbone ready, I knew I wanted to have the vocals on it, but I just needed to make some space. So I removed the construction sounds the first time the vocals come in. Now generally when I start composing, I kind of get into the lyrics and composition simultaneously, and that's how I got into the hook also. I started humming on the lines of Majdoor and Majboor. I really liked the wordplay of Majdoor sahi Majboor nahi. That was the first thought I had in mind. I wanted to describe our labor force, but I also want to show that they're not helpless, man. So that's the first line I came up with. Majdoor sahi Majboor nahi, ghar se dur koi baat nahi. That took some time to write down. It took about like an hour or so to just write this section down. And this melody came quite naturally on this progression. I wanted the listener to easily catch the hook melody, which is why I kept it pretty simple. Also, it helps if the melody is simple, because the next time it comes, I can layer it with a lot of other counter melodies and chants and anthemic chants and all. So that's why I kept the hook pretty simple in a low octave. And I'll show you what I sang for the first time.
दूर सही मजबूर नहीं, घर से दूर कोई बात नहीं, हाथों में ईंट लफ्जों पे गीत, लोहे के दिल में कोई घाव नहीं.
So that was my vocal processed a little bit because I wanted to send it to the singer eventually, which turned out to be Vishal in this case. So yeah, I processed it a bit for him to get a sense of what the song and the vocal tonality could be like. So along with the music, it sounded a bit like
दूर सही मजबूर नहीं, घर से दूर कोई बात नहीं, हाथों में ईंट लफ्जों पे गीत, लोहे के दिल में कोई घाव नहीं, लोहे के दिल में कोई घाव नहीं.
I really like the fact that I could repeat Lohe ki dil mein koi ghaav nahi, and I filled the space with a little bit of those bass synth arps like just these tiny production element details here and there. Interlude is where I shake things up slightly in terms of the kick pattern. So for this interlude, there are some orchestral elements, there are horns. We go down, we got some French horns here. Playing with another set of horns, playing with strings, acoustic guitars. We got the flute, we got violin, we got a piano. And all of these instruments are more or less programmed. The flute is coming from Cine Winds. The violins are also coming from, if I'm not wrong, they're coming from, I've printed them so I can't remember the library, but it's probably coming from, I think it's called the string section in the library. But yeah, In the rhythm section, you can hear that I've introduced a few heavier sounding percussive elements, like the marching snares here, these big sounding toms. So that's the interlude. Yay! And that brings us to the next section, the verse of the song, the first verse of the song, which is coincidentally the only verse of the song. The way I approached this verse was I laid down certain chords first, because I knew that the section prior to this did not have a lot of defined chords. It had melodies over just the root of the song. In this section, I laid down these chords. This became the backbone of this section. I also knew that I wanted to break away from the minor chord slightly. I wanted to just introduce a little bit more color to the song, so I did that by one chord change, which is kind of out of the scale. It's got a major sixth, the Shuddha, which is not there in a minor scale. Like ideally it should have been this. If this were a minor scale, it would have become. But I love getting the major sixth whenever I can in a minor song, so it gets nicer, it gets softer, it gets more. It brings a little bit of that emotional element to the song, which kind of influences the melody that goes over it. Once I had the music structure of this verse ready is when I started composing melodies for this verse. This is what I came up with. This is where the change is going to come. You can probably hear it's not sounding great in my voice here. My voice is not cutting through the mix, and so when we eventually got Vishal on board, which was such a cool thing to do, this whole song, and especially this part, it brought in so much more energy. So hear this section with Vishal's vocals. I need to highlight these two cool things that Vishal has done by himself without it being there in the melody that I provided him. Number one, Vishal came in with this wonderful run. It was not there in my original vocals, but it sounded so cool. Secondly, Vishal delayed one phrase. By delayed, I don't mean timing wise delayed the phrase, but he added a delay kind of effect. So I guess this is what pros do. They take your melody and then they embellish it with what they think can add to that melody. So thanks Vishal for doing that, and he's also done that for a section that comes next, and I'll talk about it when we get in there. That brings us to the next section, pre-chorus. This verse kind of ended on a high, so we figured the pre-chorus could probably go a bit lower and a little bit. So this is what I came up with on the pre-chorus.
सपने पूरे करते हम नए घर की खुशियां दे के खुश हैं साथ रहते सारे हम इस घर के पीछे हम हैं उस घर के आगे हम भाई देख लो आज खुल के इस दिन को रंग देंगे हम
That was the pre-chorus building into the hook of the song again. Let me show you the vocals of this part. Can you see these 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 different vocals that Vishal sent for the last line of the pre-chorus. Basically, there are about 3 harmonies and a few doubles. which sounded so cool for this section. What you're hearing right now is basically Vishal's unmixed vocals. So this is what he sent raw to me, guys. This is unmixed. Sounds so good in the raw take itself. So the pre-chorus built up for the hook to come in again, and when the hook comes in again, this time we do a trick. We double the vocals on a higher octave along with the lower octave, so it sounds really powerful. It sounds different than the first time it came.
दूर सही मजबूर नहीं, घर से दूर कोई बात नहीं, हाथों में ईंट लफ्जों पे गीत, लोहे के दिल में कोई घाव नहीं.
Along with the vocals, we've also added a few bigger sounding drums here, which were not there the first time the hook came in. This thing. And one more cool thing that is happening in the vocals is Vishal actually gave me an optional melody here. So my vocals.
दूर सही मजबूर नहीं, घर से दूर कोई बात नहीं, हाथों में ईंट लफ्जों पे गीत, लोहे के दिल में कोई घाव नहीं.
Vishal's vocals.
दूर सही मजबूर नहीं, घर से दूर कोई बात नहीं, हाथों में ईंट लफ्जों पे गीत, लोहे के दिल में कोई घाव नहीं.
God, you can almost sense the power through these vocal recordings. So cool. Anyway, that brings us to the final section of the song. A lot of times I like adding more vocal layers towards the end of the song, more counter melodies. For this outro section, I made a vocal hook. So, a cool story. When Vishal heard this part, he asked me if I'd be open for him to try a line from the verse over this section as well. He said he really liked the line "Desh ko aage leke badhte jaएं." He said he wanted to try out certain variations of that line, and this is what he came up with. So I'll play you the lines that he added by himself.
आगे लेके बढ़ते जाएं देश को, आगे लेके बढ़ते जाएं देश को, आगे लेके बढ़ते जाएं.
And they seem to go well with the vocals that I had added.
आगे लेके बढ़ते जाएं देश को, आगे लेके बढ़ते जाएं देश को.
All of this made the end section of the song sound pretty huge, and I thought that was a very cool thing.
के दिल में कोई घाव नहीं. आगे लेके बढ़ते जाएं देश को, आगे लेके बढ़ते जाएं देश को, आगे लेके बढ़ते जाएं.
You can see that I have gotten those construction sounds here again. They might not have popped out in the mix so much because there are a lot of vocal layers playing throughout this part, but these sounds have come back in again. Along with the big sounding drums, along with the shaker to bring in those high frequencies, along with the grooves, and of course with the kicks and snares. Horns and brass too. The way this project progressed was I made the whole composition first. I programmed it in Cubase first, and I recorded my rough vocals, and then Sugi got Vishal on board, which was fabulous for the song because I think Vishal has gotten so much energy, and Then I got on call with Vishal. We discussed the song. I sent him my version. I sent him the song in my key. Vishal asked if I can send him two more options of the song in different keys. So I sent him the whole song a key higher and the entire song a key lower for him to try. Eventually, Vishal went with the initial key because in that key he was able to double the song in a higher octave as well. I mean, what more can you ask as a composer? That's an awesome skill for a singer to have on the song that you've done. Thanks again, Vishal. Also, thanks to my friend Rohit Matre. I don't know if you're watching the stream, but thanks, man, for suggesting my name to the Sugi and Purnasya group, and to Sumukh for leading this entire project. Working with deadlines, working with different people, it's always fun. It's even more fun when people like the product that you've come up with. And this is what Vishal had to say about the composition.
I'm really grateful to Chaitanya Pandit, the composer, who has created this song out of the sounds that you might hear on a construction site. And I think that's really cool. I really enjoyed the groove, actually.
So that's all, guys. I hope you got something out of it. Let me know if you guys want the stems for this song. I will export it and I'll put the link somewhere. Okay, guys, see you in the next video. Bye-bye.